Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing a pre-release analysis on the new upcoming S-Rank Electro Anomaly character, YANAGI. I'll be taking a look at her entire kit, see what she does, and how you would like to build her. So let's get right into it, starting with her Ascension stats. First, she is an Anomaly character. Her type is Electric, base HP 7000, base attack 800, base defense 600, impact 86, Anomaly mastery 148, and Anomaly proficiency is 114. Moving on to her skills, starting with her basic attack. YANAGI has two stances, Yagin and Kagin. Execute up to 5 forward slashes based on the current stance, causing physical damage and electro damage. During combat, YANAGI gains the corresponding stance buff based on her current stance. Yagin stance buff electro damage increases by 10%, anti-interrupt level increases during basic attacks, and Kagin stance buff pen ratio increases by 10%, interrupt level increases for basic attacks. For 8 seconds after switching stances, YANAGI retains the bonuses from the previous stance. Okay, so it definitely seems like with the stances that she has, the way it kind of seems is that you want to switch between stances almost periodically, but not sort of fast between each other. You kind of want to like stick with like one stance here and there. Moving on to dodge. For her dash attack, fleeting flight slashes enemies in front, dealing physical damage, but for dodge counter, rapid retaliation slashes enemies in front, dealing electric damage. Character is invulnerable while using the skill. After using the skill, you can immediately follow up with the third hit of the current stance's basic attack. Okay, seems pretty normal. Moving on to her special attack routine, perform a forward slash dealing electric damage and switch the current stance. Anti-interrupt level is increased while using the skill. If activated after the 3rd, 4th, or 5th hit of a basic attack, it activates Swift Routine, speeding up the slash and stance change. Block enemy attacks while Swift Routine is active. Upon activating Swift Routine, YANAGI can immediately follow up with the 3rd hit of the current stance's basic attack, which is good because you don't have to start her attack string from the very first attack. And her X special, with enough energy, hold down her special attack. It will charge up power for a quick forward thrust, followed by a downward attack dealing massive electric damage. Upon executing the thrust, YANAGI switches stances and enters a Shana Rabanso state, lasting 15 seconds. For the duration of the state, when following up with a subsequent basic attack from the 5th hit of a basic attack or other skills, the combo will begin directly from the 3rd hit of the basic attack. If the downward attack hits an enemy suffering an anomaly, it triggers a special disorder effect, Polarity Disorder, dealing 18% of the original disorder effect's damage to the target, plus an additional 40% of YANAGI's anomaly proficiency. Polarity Disorder will not remove the target's anomaly. Character is invulnerable while using this skill. Okay, so her special attack is used to basically switch between these stances, and obviously been switching between them, you can obviously get both buffs, but the main thing that she really is prioritizing is not her electric anomaly damage, is actually this special disorder effect when disorder is triggered, which is basically when you pair up two anomalies together. For example, when you attack an enemy to apply shock and then switch the character to apply burn, when triggering one of the anomaly, it will create this special attack damage called disorder. And from YANAGI's kit, whenever you trigger that, it will buff the damage of that disorder called Polarity Disorder. So that in itself is pretty interesting. It should be pretty consistent to do considering her attack strings are very strong. And specifically when switching stances, some of her attacks gets faster, so it's definitely pretty good. Moving on to her chain attack, when switching to YANAGI, switches stances and unleash a powerful slash on enemies in front, dealing massive electric damage. Character is invulnerable when using the skill. After using the skill, you can immediately follow up with the 3rd hit of the current stance's basic attack. Her ultimate, YANAGI unleashes her potential and delivers a powerful slash to a large area of enemies in front in a very short time, followed by an additional lightning strike, dealing massive electric damage. When the lightning strike hits an enemy affected by attribute anomaly, it triggers a special disorder effect called Polarity Disorder, which is basically the same thing from her special attack. After using this skill, YANAGI can immediately follow up with the 3rd hit of the current stance's basic attack. So her ultimate basically just does the same thing as her special attack, but causes multiple lightning strikes to deal massive electric damage. core skill, core passive Linear Eclipse. After Yanagi activates her X special attack, the damage multiplier of Disorder is increased by 350% when any squad member applies the Disorder effect to an enemy lasting 15 seconds. When her X special attack hits an enemy, Yanagi electric damage against the target is increased by 20% for 15 seconds. Her additional ability, when another character in your squad is an Anomaly character or shares the same attribute, after switching stances, when Yanagi hits an enemy with basic attack, electric Anomaly build-up rate increases by 45% for 8 seconds. Okay, so pretty good damage buff to not only the Disorder effect, but also increasing her electric damage and Anomaly build-up rate. Moving on to her assist. Quick assist slashes enemies in front, dealing electric damage. Defensive assist parries the enemy's attack, dealing massive daze. And assist follow up when attacking right after a defensive assist, switches stances and quickly delivers multiple slashes to enemies in front, dealing electric damage. Alright, and that's her entire kit, and when reading through it all, I think she basically works the same way as an Anomaly character does. However, in her case, she's prioritizing the Disorder effect, which I think is pretty unique because it basically makes you want to run different characters that have different attributes than her. For example, instead of running her with multiple electric characters, you could run her with characters that's either fire or ether. So I definitely think that's pretty interesting that they are making Disorder more valuable and more of a bigger deal when choosing to run Yanagi, and can also create some unique team combos. Next, let's get into her Mindscape Cinema in case you want to pull for multiple copies for Yanagi. Her first one, Know Thyself, Know Thy Enemy. When any squad member inflicts an anomaly on an enemy, Yanagi gains 1 stack of clarity lasting 15 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. Repeated triggers reset the duration. Upon being hit by an enemy attack, Yanagi consumes 1 stack of clarity to gain invulnerability for 1 second. When Yanagi has 1 or more stacks of clarity, her anomaly proficiency increases by 80%. This is pretty good, gives her a lot more proficiency in case you want to keep increasing the Disorder or electric anomaly damage. Her second one, Outstanding Adaptability. During her X special attack, the rapid thrust electric anomaly buildup increases by 15%. Holding down the special attack button after a rapid thrust hits an enemy will consume 10 additional energy to launch another thrust. If energy is insufficient or the button is released, the attack automatically follows up with the downward attacks. When the downward attack hits an enemy suffering an anomaly and triggers polarity disorder, the damage multiplier increases to 25% of the original disorder effect. Each additional thrust increases this multiplier by 2.5% up to a maximum of 2 extra thrusts. Okay, so basically what this does is, if you ever had C6 Shell or know what C6 Shell does, that's basically what this is. Which is pretty good considering that it's only the second Mindscape, so I might actually consider getting this one. Her fourth Mindscape, Chess Master. When Yanagi inflicts attribute anomaly damage on an enemy, they suffer the exposed effect. Lasting 15 seconds, attacks on enemies under the exposed effect will have 16% increased pen ratio. This allows Yanagi to ignore more defense on enemies. And lastly, her sixth one, Inhuman Blood. After a thrust attack during her X special attack, the duration of the state from her special attack increases to 30 seconds. When the state is active, Yanagi's attack increases by 15%, and her X special attack damage increases by 20%. The maximum number of times the additional damage multiplier increase effect for polarity disorder in Outstanding Adaptability from the second Mindscape can be triggered increases to 4, and the energy cost for the first 4 additional thrust attacks is halved, which is basically not only increasing her damage, but increasing the thrust that you can do from her second Mindscape, which is just crazier C6 Shao. But honestly, I think her mind schemes are pretty nice, but if you want to get like a few copies of her, I will only stop at C2 because I don't think it's worth getting the 4th one unless you want to get the 6th one. But nonetheless, Yanagi's kit is pretty good on its own. Moving on to her signature W engine, Time Reaver. The main stat of the W engine is attack percentage. The passive of Time Reaver, Time Devouring Stratagem. The equipper's electric anomaly build-up rate increases by 30% when special attacks or X special attacks hits enemies under attribute anomalies. The equipper's anomaly proficiency increases by 75 for 15 seconds when the equipper's anomaly proficiency is greater than or equal to 375. Disorder damage inflicted by the equipper increases by 25%. So definitely very good for Yanagi, but if you're not planning to get her signature, the only other good ones that are good in terms of 5-star is Fusion Complier. It increases her attack, and when using special attack or X special, her proficiency increases by 25, stacking up to 3 times, which is basically good, only that the main stat is pin ratio, which is definitely still good. However, in terms of A rank, the only other good ones that you can go with is Electro Tip Gloss, which is the battle pass one. It gives you attack but also more damage percent, while the main stat being Anomaly Proficiency, and any other ones that you can go with is Weeping Gemini and Warring Ride. Next, let's go into drive disc and substats that you would like to build for Yanagi. In terms of 4-piece, the main one you would like to mainly go for is Chaos Jazz, which is one of the new ones that just came out. 2-piece is Anomaly Proficiency, but the 4-piece fire damage and electro damage increases by 50%, while off-field X special attack and assist attack damage increases by 20%. When switching on-field, this buff continues for 5 seconds, and this continuation effect can trigger once every 7.5 seconds. However, if you don't want to farm for Chaos Jazz, the only other one that I could recommend is Thunder Metal, because 2-piece gives her electro damage, and 4-piece, as long as the enemy is shocked, the equipper's attack is increased by 28%, which is still pretty good. It's just that when considering her kit and that a lot of her damage comes from her X special, Chaos Jazz does makes it a lot more better in terms of increasing the damage of her special attack. But if you want to increase the damage between all of her attacks, then Thunder Metal is definitely a good option. The only other one that you can go with is Freedom Blues, because when you hit an enemy with your X special, reduce the target's anomaly build-up resistance by 20%. And of course with the 2-piece, I would definitely go with Anomaly Proficiency, but you can go with Electro Damage. In terms of main stats, you definitely want to go with Anomaly Proficiency for her 4th one, for 5th definitely Electric, and for 6th Anomaly Mastery, and lastly for substats Anomaly Mastery, Attack, and Pen. Alright, and that's an entire look at Yanagi's kit. I definitely think she's gonna be really fun in terms of utilizing her basic attack combo, when switching stances when using her X special attack, and taking full advantage of her special disorder effect Polarity Disorder. I definitely think this can lead to fun, interesting team combos, so I'm definitely looking forward for her release. And that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, then definitely subscribe to the channel for more content, leave a like on the video to support it, and leave a comment down below of what you guys think of Yanagi. That's it for today, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.